like where we are right now. So just to summarize, out of 14 bugs or like corrections that we were supposed to like fix, so 10 of them have all been solved. So we're now only working on four. So it's getting really, really close, and it's looking really, really good. And from what I understand from the report, there is no critical bugs. There is no real security issues at all now in the code. The things we're working on are let me see here. Just bring it up again. So they are basically the audits have different categories. Like the worst ones are called critical severities, and the least ones are called just other slash advisory issues. So like you should do it like this instead of that because it will work better. So the remaining problems are all within the with the lower tier stuff. So it's looking really good. I mean, time frame, I really don't want to say, but it's getting really close.
Oh, say you sacrificed $1,000 and you get 10 million points. Okay, no expectations, but say do you get it on both chains, both Ethereum and Pulse chain? 10 million points on both.
Yeah, correct. It's gonna be exactly the
Alrighty.
same on both. And
Alright.
we will actually airdrop that to you on ETH, so you don't have to have gas to claim. So you will just get it reflected in your wallet at the same time.
So if I don't like Ethereum side, I can sell that 10 million points, and then I can just bring it right on over to the Pulse chain side and have 20 million.
Well, it depends, right? Because in general, you're correct. There's gonna be a game of like, okay, which one is gonna be more valuable? You can trade them for each other, but they are not like they're gonna have different prices, right? Because they're on two completely different. It's like p hex and the hex on Ethereum. You know, they have different prices, so it's gonna be very similar to that.
Alrighty, thank you.
You would probably have to swap those tokens for something that's going to pump, take profits, and then switch to the other network to build up your bag. Then you get a triple or quadruple bag, I'm assuming.
Or a really good way to do it would be to bridge them over. So you're right, you got gas fee once to bridge everything over, but then you pair the ETH side, the wrapped ETH token, with the Pulse version on Pulse Chain, which makes a big pool and helps
Alright.
parity, which is another option.
It's gonna be like, yeah, this is actually very interesting. It's something we don't really talk about too much in the chat, but I think it's gonna be a huge part of it because I don't know which is gonna be the most successful one. Some in the team really think it's Ethereum. I personally think it's gonna be Pulse Chain, but like nobody knows.
I
But
think it's gonna be Pulse chain.
yeah, but listen, the interesting part is, okay, there's gonna be a 9-inch on ETH and a 9-inch token on Pulse Chain. That's one game. That's one side game to sort of like how can you maximize value. But then there's also the fact that let's say our coin that we created, the Pulse Doge, okay, the original meme coin in the Hex community. You will be able to stake that and I mean provide liquidity and stake actually on both chains. So there's also going to be the side game of, okay, well, if let's say Ethereum, let's say the Pulse chain side really wins and everybody just moves all their activity there and Ethereum is like not much activity at all, then if somebody has a token that you can stake on each side, that guy is probably going to get a huge share of that pool of the earnings.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
then that will kind of attract other people to come there because that's how this game works, you know, like as soon as there is profit to be made, it fills up. It's like a vacuum that just fills up.
Yeah, you're gonna
So
have the highest yields on Ethereum. If nobody goes in, everybody's gonna try to get in as fast as possible to get the yield. So it's basically whoever comes first wins.
yeah, so I think it might be a bit crazy the first few days because there's going to be price discovery and all of that. It's kind of like when Pulse Chain launched, if you remember, it was absolute madness for the first few days. But I think then it will sort of even out and we will see kind of the dynamics between the ETH side of 9-inch and the Pulse chain of 9-inch. Both will always work like exactly the same. It's just going to be a matter of like determining which is more profitable for you.
I just know a bunch of millionaires that are gonna come on the ETH side. They're gonna try to just take over all the pools on the ETH side. So I'm just telling you right now,
Well,
ETH side is gonna pump the cat of it.
Well, you know, you could argue that the ETH side, when we launch, will have a much smaller sort of activity than Pulse Chain because Pulse Chain is so fast, cheap, and everybody's probably already on Pulse Chain. But
Yeah,
I think
both have
as time
charts
goes on,
coming.
though, the ETH side, we're going to be ranking on all of the ranking sites, like Dex Screener, on DeFi Llama, and all of these. And so bots are definitely going to come on each side, and that will kind of spiral upwards, I think, as time goes on, because then the ETH guys will see like, what is this 9-inch thing? Because like 99.99% of all the guys on Ethereum have never heard of 9-inch. So that's really bullish, I think, for the 9-inch on ETH, that you might get a huge surprise kind of audience that we weren't expecting. And that's
Trust
also a
me.
bullish for Pulse Chain,
Once the
because they can, like you
once the
say, you
contracts
can.
open, sorry to interrupt you, but once the contracts open on the east side, trust me, there's fucking sharks coming through. They're gonna fucking swim and eat all the fish because it's
Yeah,
all gonna
man.
be exposed. So,
And
once you open all the
at the end of the
contracts,
day,
it's game over. So
yeah, look, at the end of the day, when they are on there and they're making some money, making some moves, they're gonna see that you can toggle between something called Pulse Chain and ETH. So, that might actually drive people
that
to
is correct, and
the
that's a
bot.
very good fucking onboarding for Pulse Chain because now they can go on both sides and win. So it's not only each
Yep.
side. So I think that's why that's why I invested 50K into 9-inch just because of that.
Yeah, cool. I mean, also, like, look what's going on right now in Pulse Chain. Some people hate it, some love it, but there is some real activity with PDAI, Atropa, and all this weird shit, spooky stuff going on. Like, that stuff is really, really engaging and addicting because people want results. They want to earn. And so when they see these meme coins popping on, like, I think 9-inch can be a really, really like a central place, like a coliseum for these meme coins from ETH to not trade on PulseX but on 9-inch, because there's going to be way more pools on 9-inch that have rewards attached to them because people can actually vote them in. So let's say somebody like B-Roots, let's say he, I don't know if he sacrificed or not, but let's say he has a bunch of 9-inch tokens. Well, he keeps talking about PDAI all the time. Like, can you imagine what like a PDAI pool would do on 9-inch? How much liquidity it might attract, and how much that actually could sort of spiral this narrative that it's gonna become like a peg. I don't know. It's like it's kind of like a Pandora's box that's gonna open, and I think that's gonna,
What I was
yeah.
thinking is, how you need to have 9-inch tokens in order for you to kind of list your pool for your whatever meme coin you want to list, like a vote, right? There should be a
Yep.
mechanism where you can rent your 9-inch tokens because obviously it's deflationary, so you can rent your 9-inch tokens and kind of like collect fees for the project. So you vote on the project, you put your tokens in as a sacrifice, and then it gets kind of incentivized in the percentage because that you're putting your stake on that project. So you're staking on that project to be successful, and you get rewarded for it. And you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. And first, I can say that right now, in these like coming days and the days prior, me and the team, we kind of try to isolate ourselves from like all the ideas we get, because we just want to launch this with a complete perfect code without bugs and everything. So we just focus on fixing everything.
Yeah, you don't want to complicate it. I
What?
get you.
Yeah, not right now. But what you're talking about, actually, there is something similar that I've heard people are gonna do anyway, but more manually. They're gonna gather and kind of like pool their 9-inch tokens and do votes for their communities and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that you can build around it. It doesn't necessarily have to be us, the team, that makes these things. But yeah, you can build a lot around the BBC token and the 9-inch token.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, it sounds good, man.
So will the BBC token just be used for voting, or will there actually be a way to increase the yield by holding it as well?
We haven't talked about officially what you can do with the BBC token, but you will be able to do a similar thing that you can do with the 9-inch token. But we'll put all that information later on when we actually have the code ready.
And like with the 9-inch token, just for comparison, like on the Fux exchange, you can stake your Fux to get VE Fux that you can use for voting, and it also increases the yield you get from pools. Will there be a yield increasing format, or will it just be votes?
That's a good question, because I think 2 voice chats ago, Keanu, the lead dev, he was talking about this feature, and I I don't recall it 100%, but it has to do with, when you are in the staking pool, depending on how many 9-inch tokens you got, you get some extra yield. It's very little, but it's something. I think that was what it was. I need to check that up, but we have a very similar feature to that.
Thank you.
But yeah, I can tell you what I'm really excited about. I touched on it a bit before, and that's the fact that all these coins that are really popping up on Pulse Chain. I see a lot of activity on like YouTube and on Twitter and stuff as well. Like these tokens can now actually find a really good home for their main liquidity, because why would you be on an exchange where your community is not incentivized to provide liquidity for it when there isn't exactly the same? Like if you compare PulseX and 9-inch, they're essentially the same, but we just have more features in our multi-chain. Then I really see a feature where at least the meme coins, like the maybe even the the PDAI and all of this, will actually have its main base on 9-inch. That's just something that I can really see that happening, and I think that's going to be good for all these communities. Really, I really look forward to that, because like
I was gonna
if you
ask you
look
a
at
question.
where all the active communities are right now, they are in those meme coins, the teddy bear or the PDAI and all of this. That's a lot of users, and I bet a good percentage of them have some 9-inch tokens or will get some 9-inch tokens. So they will actually influence the platform, and in the end, they will influence their own coin to do well.
Is most of the code that you guys are going through, is it gonna be posted on GitHub?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
kind of look over
All is
the
yeah, everything is open source.
nice.
You're gonna get also 2 audit reports with everything, and yeah. So if you really want to dive deep, you get all the unfiltered stuff.
Yeah, because you said there's like 4 errors, or kind of you got 4 defaults, right? Coming from the audit. Will this
Yeah,
be posted
there's
so you can look into it?
yeah. It's a PDF, very well structured, and all you
Nice,
have to do is get a coffee and a lot of scrolling.
nice. That's bullish, man. That's very nice.
So is 9-inch a fork of a particular protocol or a couple protocols meshed together that have been forked, or is it completely a standalone product?
It's 3 forks basically. It's forking Uniswap, it's forking PancakeSwap, and it's forking PulseX, and we put them together. So the buy and burn contract we took from PulseX, but we have changed it a lot because there was so much weird stuff in it. So that's going to be very interesting from the audit point of view. So yeah, that comes from PulseX, and the staking and the farming comes from PancakeSwap, and from Uniswap we forked the swap, like just exchange.
As far as liquidity providing goes, which of those forks is in effect? Like, is it a Uniswap where I can choose between 0.1 and 1%, or is it like a flat amount, or do I get paid separately? Does it just keep adding into the pool? Which format are we doing?
Well, it's a direct fork of Uniswap v2, so it's not the latest version. And I can say a lot of people like v2 because it makes coins pump easier because the liquidity is a bit less efficient. Whereas in v3, liquidity providers can really go in deep and like select which ranges they're gonna provide liquidity and so on. It kind of makes it more efficient, which sounds good, but is not always. I know a lot of LPs that get wrecked because they try and be smart with that, and they just lose money in the end. Plus, the people who launch coins, their coins don't pump as much because just the way it is. So, by the way, PulseX also has V2, so we're gonna be identical to that.
I think isn't Uniswap v3 is still proprietary. I think that they want you to pay them for it.
I think that period ended a couple months ago, but at least this year is the last year where that sort of limitation passes, so people can fork it and use it.
It ended in February, actually, so
Oh
you're
yeah.
good. Sounds good, man. Thanks for the info, bro. Thank you.
Price action the last couple days with like the RH tokens. It's the first time we've had like 10% gains in consecutive days, and it really feels like a good time, and it feels like we've kind of bottomed. What's your guys' opinion on that?
I'm super bullish on Pulse Chain. Coins on there, the P copies. I'm bullish on the actual PulseX coin and the Pulse coin, much more than I was maybe a month ago, 2 weeks ago. It's looking really good. I really like, we always had this battle in the Hex community before that. How do we pump Pulse Chain? Some of the people thought that, okay, we need to gather all the sort of buying power into Richard Hart coins only. Forget all these stupid meme coins. Then you have the other camp that's kind of like, well, if we want to pump everything, then we need people to come in and gamble on the meme coins. And I think now why I feel so bullish is because I think the second camp is right. Like Pulse, nobody gives a fuck about Pulse Chain if there's nothing interesting, intriguing going on. And now with this, this wrap Bitcoin stuff, PDAI, the Atropa mystery, and all of this, like there's so much YouTube content and Twitter discussions, private groups on Telegram talking about this. Like that intrigue kind of like makes me bullish on Pulse Chain now because that's gonna draw so many people in. So yeah, I'm really bullish on it.
Yeah,
Much more
I
than
agree
Ethereum and
because
stuff.
like you look at like the price action we've been getting with like those meme coins, Atropa and PDAI, like how many X's they did within like a month or month and a half span. You really don't see that on any other chain. Like we had our, the lowest lows for sure, but everything's balanced in life, and I feel like the highest highs certainly are around the corner.
Yeah, and if nothing else, man, like for those people who come and buy Pulse at this level now, I think they are the ones who are gonna really drive up the price because us in here and most of the people in our community, they're already down bad on their bags, right? So let's say if
Yeah.
the price pumps and okay, now instead of being down 80%, they're only down 40 or whatever. So they're kind of like licking their wounds still. But for
Hmm.
somebody who comes in now and buys it, he's just going to see green numbers on his account. Those
Yeah,
are the people we
absolutely.
need. We need less of the salty people who just want to sell at a bit higher price, and we need
Yeah.
more of the people that come in fresh and just see green candles. And I think
And I
9inch
know,
is going
and
to
like
bring those people.
yeah, like you have a bull run just around the corner, and as much as we have fallen, there's not really many people, if at all, in profit right now. I just picked up 5K bridging over from Matic over into Pulse Chain, and yeah, it's like sure there was 10% gain like in the RH tokens the last 2 days, but you look at the chart from an overall spectrum, it's still multitudes down. So it's like the sell pressure really shouldn't be there, especially if people are really looking ahead of what could come with this bull run. I'm thinking like the floor is in now, and we could just move forward.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm on your side there, 100%. And yeah, I mean the main thing is like all honesty, there has to be something interesting going on that get people excited and come over. It can't just be okay, this coin is really low, so I'll buy it because it might pump. Like that's not gonna work. People will have to bridge in to get kind of like the FOMO buys in, whatever all the meme coins that are sort of popping. And once they're in the community, man, they're in. You know how our community is. It's very sticky. It's very addictive. But for the people who are outside, they don't give a fuck about us and our shitty charts right now. They need to come in. And I really think that's gonna happen now with this like meme season that seems to be brewing. And man,
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, I honestly believe that 9inch is going to be the conduit or the supercharger for that because we're going to incentivize those coins. We're going to incentivize new projects to do that stuff. We're on
absolutely.
Pulsex is cool, but like it doesn't give you anything for like making a good coin or something. Everybody has the same playing field. Whereas on 9inch, if you do well, you build a community. I promise you that community is gonna boost their 9inch holdings, pool together, and get like some good rewards on their coin. So that's why I think people are gonna really look into 9inch from the ETH side. Because they're gonna
Yeah.
see all the stuff that when they go on deck screen, it's like, what the fuck is this coin? What is Pulse Chain? Like, what's going on? you
Yeah,
know?
I, I really see a big ball of momentum starting to come, and I think that's a perfect time. Hopefully, things get rolled out, whatever time frame they are. But positive price action, just it doesn't go unnoticed. People find out, and like Crypto Banner or whatever, he always has his bubbles, and I always see like certain times when we have like big gains, you'll see the big green bubble, and certainly people like to chase green candles, even though it should be the other way around. But like I said before, we've already bottomed so hard already that it's not hard to see multiple X's and it still hold its ground in its price because of people, even if we do a 2-3x, people still might be down 50%, on their holdings or more. So it's like, might as well hold it.
Yeah, this seems like 9inch is gonna be the spark of the boom.
So, what kind of gatekeeping is there to stop tokens from listing on Pulse Chain? Sorry, to stop tokens from listing to get bonuses from 9inch. Like, how is that monitored and controlled?
Technically, there's not really any gatekeeping for the voting of pools. That's gonna have to, well, like 9inch is gonna have a price, right? So you can't really put just garbage on the side because you will actually have to buy everybody's bags up. It's kind of like a stabilizing mechanism to, like, if you're gonna really get a lot of 9inch, it's gonna cost you, right? So you're probably not gonna put up like garbage on the site because it's kind of like an anti-spam protection if you think about it. The second thing is that on the staking pools, so the single staking ones, there we're gonna have a vetting process, which means that one component of like how to get your coin as a single staking to get a single staking pool. One part of that is going to be a manual vetting process by the team and some influential, I would say, community members. Liquidity rewards for to earn the BBC token to pair liquidity. That's just going to be up to the voting.
That's what I'm concerned about, though, is the you're having a portion of it that has to be vetted by the team. So you have like a very centralized process for who gets to be one of the cool kids and have their token represented on 9inch. So anybody can buy 9inch, but only the people that the 9inch team likes can benefit from it, is what I'm hearing.
No, not really. The 9inch is to vote up your project for the liquidity pools, where you pair, basically you vote up a pair. So
any project could be on there with no limitations.
Yeah, it's 100%
Okay.
voting. And as we have said before, we are gonna have a minority. Maybe I don't know the percentage yet, but the team is gonna have a certain allocation of 9inch tokens that you can see publicly exactly what they do, and that is gonna be kind of like a backstop if something really really fishy is going on. And so you're gonna probably see that this bag is gonna be doing moves that benefits the DEX at like as much as possible. So yeah.
Okay, then what about those single-sided staking pools? Like how is that decided who gets to play in there?
There we need to be more careful because if you think about it, the single staking pools, they don't add anything to the exchange. So if you're a 9inch holder and let's say you hate a certain project, and now that project gets a single sided staking pool, and all of their members and the new people who buy their coin is going to get rewards that dilutes you. So how does this benefit you? It really doesn't. So the reason why we have a vetting process is to make sure that the coins that get listed there, we actually want them to bring value to the exchange and to all the 9inch holders, regardless if you like their coin or not. Because yeah, I mean, you understand why, right? So that's why we have a selection process. And yes, that part is centralized. But if you think about it, it's a good thing that part specifically is centralized just for this reason, because who is the central entity that gets to choose? Well, it's an entity that wants the best for the DEX because we're the founders of the DEX. So I think the incentive for us to only bring in projects that are good for everybody, I think that's something that is a good thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I agree with both statements you made there.
Even though there's many things that are different, but this is like the main thing I would say. And it's the fact that we don't have really a dev or something that gets to decide that only coins he likes gets to farm liquidity. So how we do it instead is one 9inch token equals one vote. So you will have a very, very slick, easy to use UI, a subpage on the actual DEX in the menu, where you can vote with your 9inch tokens on a pair. So anybody can go in there and suggest a pair. Let's say PLD and wrapped pulse. Okay, so it's a meme coin, and then the coin that it's paired with is pulse. So anybody can put that up, as a proposal. And if that one keeps, like, let's say I have 2,000 9-inch tokens, then I can go and like, I like that. I can put my 2,000 tokens and just sign. So you won't do any transaction. There's no transaction here, okay? It's just like just reads your wallet, sees if you have the tokens, and then you can put your vote on that. And so we're gonna have this process constantly, like a leaderboard almost, where the top proposals that get the most votes from the gathered sort of weight from all the 9-inch holders, they will get the most profitable liquidity pools. So if you compare that with PulseX right now, you have some pools that are yielding 10%, and you have some pools that are yielding, I think, 60%. You're gonna have these like different numbers on our exchange as well, but the main thing that's gonna sort of influence that are our own users, which is really cool, because I think that's why it's going to work so well, because people will vote with their holdings, right? So I think everybody the DEX will be a really good reflection of what all the users want. So I think that's a really good thing to have. Oh, and I just want to clarify also, while that is true, what sort of dictates also how much you earn is obviously how many people are using the pool. So if one pool gets really crowded, your percentage that you earn from that pool will go down. And if one pool gets sort of the users don't really want to provide liquidity in it, then your share of that will increase. So it's exactly the same as on other dexes.
I'm sure this has been gone over, but do we have a rough timeline for these products yet?
Well, the audits have taken much longer than we thought, but I keep saying that it's soon because I don't want to give any. We have actually got an estimate now from the auditors of a range of how many days it is. So I can at least tell you that the auditors are quoting a certain number of days, not like months. So when we obviously when we finish and wrap up all the auditing, then there's just like minor stuff that needs to be like finished, and then we should be ready to go. He decided to do everything himself.
Do you have any written material we could look at on how the little bit more of the intricacies, just in terms of like the voting weight or how many pools there'll be, or like, just so we have an idea on the mechanics, like to plan? Or is there, like, is there going to be, so if I own, 0.05 or 0.5% of all the 9-inch, do I, what kind of voting do we need to get a pool on there, and how many will there be, kind of thing? Like, are these parameters been decided yet?
Well, right now, we don't have anything you can read about that, but what we've tested so far, I think, is you have to have a minimum amount of votes to make it. And then it's just for us to decide like how many pools there will be at any one time. So you don't want to have like 6 pages of pools. That's just bad UI.
So a minimum amount of tokens to make a proposal, and then people would vote on it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so like if something gets 4 votes, you're not going to see a pool with really shitty yield. It's just not going to make the cut. But it's going to be like a minimum, and then you're going to have like the worst pool and the best pool, like a radius spectrum.
But do you need a certain amount of tokens to make a proposal, like to propose a pool, or can anybody propose a pool?
Okay. That I don't know actually, but it should be fine, because that's not really, I think that happens off chain. I think that's just like easy stuff to program in. I'm not really sure which one it is. I think anybody can propose something, is what I'm guessing.
With respect though, how are you not sure? Like, is this not designed yet, or it's not fully done, or?
No, this thing, listen, like when we launch, there is not going to be, the DAO is not launching with the actual launch. That's going to come a little bit later. So that's why we're still making like these small details.
Okay, thank you.
So for those of you who don't know, the first few days are going to be like really scaled down. So in the beginning, there's only going to be the 9-inch pools, right? And then incrementally stuff gets added to the DEX. We have that written down, I think, in the what do you call it, the Git book. I think if it's not there, I should add it.
Did you guys expand the team in this process? Did you guys like hired a couple new devs? I'm just thinking.
No, we have no new devs. We have Keanu, who's the lead dev. He basically made post-doge, and we helped out with 4pleb when they launched, and now we do 9-inch. He has done many projects before that as well on Binance. So he basically, well, we have two devs that are working under him, and we know one of them in real life, so it's kind of like a friend of ours. So it's not like some guy in Czechoslovakia we met on Skype or anything. And then the second dev is a co-worker of him that works remotely. So we have a core team, and we haven't expanded. We don't really need it yet, at least, and we really trust these guys because we've done so many things together. It's I think the first DEX that's also a real meme coin. So it's gonna be so fun promoting this, and like imagine a DEX that gets the virality of a meme coin. I think it's gonna be really fun. But
Yeah, I mean, you guys did a good job in like marketing before Sacrifice. So yeah, I mean, if you can do triple, quadruple that, at, a launch, that'd be very nice.
yeah, and I mean, like when code is done and the contracts are in the air, then that frees up a lot of time and focus.
Yeah, that's right.
So what about these two meme coins? Are they going to see some benefit when this DEX launches as well?
What do you mean? Specific meme coins?
You mentioned
or...
that the founders were part of meme coin communities. I think we know which ones. So is it a benefit for me to, have those meme coins right now pending the launch of the 9-inch DEX?
That I can't really say if it's going to benefit you or not, but I would be pretty damn sure that PP and PLD are going to have a very good spot on the DEX.
Will it be a stealth launch, or will you announce it before 9-inch?
Okay, I'll make this the last question because this is a good one. It's not going to be a surprise of any kind because we're going to launch it in a way that it's not really, people are not really able to front run like the important stuff. So we're going to launch, we call it a fair launch, which means that in the first 24 hours, there's not going to be any BBC yield being paid out, but anybody can still pair liquidity. So it's essentially like going to the racetrack and just like getting in that ready position before the guy umpire or whatever you call him shoots the gun in the air and they sprint. And if we do it this way, then the yield starts paying out for everybody at the exact same time. And so nobody can complain that they were sleeping or, like in the wrong time zone or whatever. Like, so 24 hours, it's not a lot of time, but I think it's enough time to call it a fair launch. So there's not going to be any surprises. I think it's going to be a really fair, good launch.